Hi Sagittarius, welcome back to my channel, Tarot Z. I'm Z and I'm going to be doing your tarot reading, finding out the messages that come through with the cards that come out in this reading for you today. So let's begin. Let's find out what messages and what cards come out with this reading. And thank you so much for joining and for being here for the reading. So the first card we have is the Five of Pentacles showing up in the reverse. We do have some earth sign energy because you're dealing with a Capricorn, a Taurus, or even a Virgo. And we have the Two of Pentacles. And the Four of Swords showing up in the reverse. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Star card. We do have some Aquarius energy with this, so you could be dealing with an Aquarius as well. So the Star card showing up over here, I do feel like this is an energy about really thinking about the future and thinking about the future in a more serious way. I also feel like it's having an emotional impact. I do feel like when it comes to also being in a space of really longing for someone and also being in a place where I feel like somebody is in a space where they're really missing you or you're missing someone, but I do feel like there's this feeling of distance and I feel like it exists on an emotional level. I also feel like that could be on a physical level as well, but I do feel like that is really starting to take its toll or is something that's starting to begin to be felt. With the Five of Pentacles showing up in the reverse over here, I really do feel like with the Five of Pentacles showing up in the reverse, that when it comes to the way someone feels about you, they are having what feels like a change of heart. I also feel like there is also a misjudging of a situation or a misjudging of someone. And I do feel like this is an energy of really reconsidering. I do feel like with this Five of Pentacles that there's also an energy of wanting to be able to kind of make a wrong right. I do feel like there was a misjudgment. And I feel like there's a desire to be able to kind of take back an early judgment. I do feel like with this Five of Pentacles that this person has a lot of internalizing of the situation. I do feel like they could have been projecting a lot of issues or a lot of fears onto the situation or onto you, and I do feel like that also impacted the way that they showed up in the situation. But I do feel like this person is in a space where it is something that does cross their mind, and I feel like they're thinking about it, especially now, heavily. We do have the Two of Pentacles, and with this Two of Pentacles showing up over here, I do feel like there's an energy of a lot of things starting to pick up for you. I do feel like even in the work perspective, it's like you're too busy to even notice when it comes to the way that someone is impacting you or the way the situation is making you feel. I do feel like this is an energy of being a little bit distracted. But I feel like when it comes to those distractions, it's being busy in the sense of being booked and busy in a good way. I do feel like though, with this Two of Pentacles, there is a need for being able to also prioritize the situation in order to allow for being able to give more attention to it. Do you feel like with that Star card showing up here at the bottom of the deck, there's a sense of longing for you? I do feel like it's like this is an energy of kind of being in a space where your priorities are also showing up, especially, and I do feel like it's also impacting the way you're showing up in this connection or the way that you're being received in this connection. But with the Four of Swords showing up in the reverse, I do feel like there is going to be a lot more action within this connection, and I feel like it's really happening through a lot of picked up communication. Do you feel like there is going to be an expression and also an open energy towards being able to communicate within this connection? I feel like it's for the better, and it also lends itself to making the connection stronger and better. I do feel like this Four of Swords does feel like also coming out of what felt like a silent period. I do feel like there could have been a sense that there could have been some silence or distance between yourself and someone else. With this Four of Swords, I do feel like there's some forward movements as far as being able to really bridge that gap within this connection. And I feel like with the Four of Swords showing up in the reverse, this is also an energy of being in a space where there is also an openness and a willingness to being able to really either confront or look at the situation. And I also feel like when it comes to the communication, I do feel like there's also a lot of communication and even hearing from someone and a lot of expressions So I'm going to clarify these cards. We have the Wheel underneath this Five of Pentacles. And we have the Three of Wands underneath this Two of Pentacles. And we have the King of Swords is showing up in the reverse underneath this Four of Swords. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Hermit card. And with the Hermit card, we have Virgo energy. You could be dealing with a Virgo with this energy as well. But with this Hermit energy, this is also a feeling of isolation. Kind of being in a space where there is a sense of there's some silence in this connection. But I do feel like that silence is having a huge impact on someone. And I do feel like it's also putting this person in a space where I feel like they're kind of anxious. They are in a space where they're longing for you. That absence is something that's strongly felt. And I do feel like with this Star card showing up above the Hermits, that there's also a strong connection over here that is felt. And I do feel like there is a sense of, a really strong sense of missing you. I do feel like with this Hermit card though, that this is an energy about being able to really prioritize self, and even I feel like in the sense of a self-care journey. And I feel like it's also kind of allowing for being able to really embrace this more independent energy or focus within this connection. I do feel like that is also putting someone in a space where it's actually having a strong impact on them. And I do feel like there's a desire to reach out or to hear from you. We do have the Wheel card, and with the Wheel card, I do feel like this is an energy of, I feel that this person is in a space where they are recognizing that this connection is one that's very important to them. Also feel like the depth, especially the emotional depth that has come out of this connection, has really allowed for this person to realize things in a different light. So I do feel like there's also a change within how they are viewing the situation with you, and I feel like this connection is really making this person feel. I do feel like with the Wheel card that it is a very strong connection and it's quite meaningful and deep. I do feel like though with that Wheel card showing up over here that your connection may be one that goes through a lot of changes, and I do feel like with that it also is one that makes someone feel a lot within this connection. I feel like they feel a lot towards you, and I feel like with the Wheel card showing up over here, this is also about the timing of things, and I do feel like that's always been an important element within this connection. And I do feel like with that Five of Pentacles that you could have met this person at a time where it could have been unexpected, or it could have felt like it was a surprising energy to the meetup or to the last encounter that you had. And I do feel like this person may have shown up in a way that they did not expect to or did not plan to. And I do feel like with that Five of Pentacles that there's a bit of a remorseful energy, but I also feel like there's a very accountable energy. And also I feel there's a sense of self-reflection in the situation as well. So with the Wheel card, this person I feel is also kind of coming to recognize how much you mean to them. This does feel like an energy of no longer taking you for granted or your connection for granted, and recognizing that was the way that they could have shown up in this connection. I do feel like they're aware of how they make you feel, or that may have made you feel. And with this Wheel card, this is a pretty resilient energy, and I do feel like when it comes to your connection, the connection is really strong and keeps things going within this connection. I do feel like with this Wheel card showing up over here, this person feels very lucky to know you, to have you in their life. And I do feel like they also feel very lucky to have this connection. It does feel like it is one that puts them in this place where they feel very fortunate for it to be them. You do have the Three of Wands. With the Three of Wands showing up underneath this Two of Pentacles, I do feel like this is an energy about being in a space of waiting. I feel like with that Two of Pentacles showing up over here above the Three of Wands, you could have gotten tired of waiting. Or I do feel like there's also a sense of having been distracted and having something else come up. I do feel like though this Three of Wands, that this is still an energy of having a space for this connection. And I do feel like this is also a time of being able to experience in some way, being able to see why this connection is worth it to you. And I do feel like this is a harvest season kind of energy, and being able to see the investment that has been put into a connection come to fruition. And I do feel like with the Three of Wands that this is an energy of being at the end of a waiting period. I also feel like that could be in the sense that you get tired of waiting, but I do feel like with this Three of Wands that there is a sense of also being in a space where you're able to really experience getting to be able to see what you have been waiting for. So I do feel like this is a pretty successful energy as well. So I feel like it's a card of manifestation. So we have the King of Swords showing up in the reverse. And I do feel like with this King of Swords showing up in the reverse, this could have been, I do feel like there could have been an energy of showing up a bit like treating the connection like it is one that is casual, or somebody may have come across a bit cold or detached. I do feel like this is also a sense that this person may have been leading with a false mask is what I am getting. I do feel like that could be also tied into having very deep fears, and I feel like those could have been fears around things like abandonment and even just a lot of insecurities. But I do feel like with this card showing up in the reverse, this is a little bit more of a bringing back down to earth kind of energy. So I do feel like within your situation and within your connection that there is a sense of being able to get to see this person, the true them, instead of the mask that they put out into the world in a way that will allow for being able to control the way they perceived. So I do feel like with the Four of Swords, this is about being able to really to be able to connect, and I feel like also being able to experience the right time to be able to do that. So I'm going to clarify these cards. So we have Saturn with truth. We have Capricorn with I use. And we have Venus with love. So with this Saturn energy showing up over here, I do feel like you could be dealing with someone who is either older than you or somebody who is in a very established place and position right now in life. I also feel like this could be your energy, and I do feel like with this Saturn card showing up over here, this is a very mature energy, and I do feel like your connection is one that's maturing, but I also feel like the way in which that you're handling the situation with this person, and this person is also is handling the situation with you, I do feel like it's in a more mature way. And I do feel like with the Saturn card showing up over here, this is also a very matter-of-fact energy. I do feel like there's also a very mature way of handling things, and I do feel like with that accountability, this person is someone who is able to learn from their mistakes. I do feel that there is a sense of also experiencing being able to learn and be held accountable within your connection. I do feel like with the Capricorn I use card, you could be dealing with a Capricorn. I also get that with that Saturn card, but with this Capricorn I use card, I do feel like this is a very ambitious energy, and I feel like this is pertaining to this Two of Pentacles. I do feel like when it comes to your career, things are picking up. I also feel like there is an energy of being able to see a lot of growth and expansion in that field for yourself, and I do feel like it's also an element of being able to experience being more busy in a work sense. And I feel like with this Capricorn energy, this is a very ambitious and driven energy when it comes to that side of life, like your career, your money, your finances. I do feel like this is a very positive energy in that regard. And I do feel like it's also going to require you to get organized, especially when it comes to prioritizing this connection. I do feel like with the Venus card, this does feel like a very loving energy. I also feel like with that King of Swords in the reverse, that I do feel like this is also this person being in a space where they're connecting with you from a space that's a little bit cold and detached, moving towards a little bit more affection, bringing back more affection into your connection. Do you feel like the actions are showing that? And I do feel like the communication is also taking more so of that nature when it comes to being able to connect on a deeper level, and even just being able to come to a place of connecting from a heart space as opposed to being overly analytical, being overly in their mind, and trying to really prioritize an intellectual connection over a genuine heartfelt connection between two people. I also feel like with the Hermit card, this is a very analytical energy as well. So I do feel like this is about being able to connect on a deeper level. I do feel like you have a strong connection, and I do feel like with the Venus card showing up over here, it's full of love, and I do feel like it is one that does cultivate an environment of love, and I do feel like it is one that can be very harmonious. I do feel like with that Five of Pentacles, there may have been a false start in this connection. So I do feel like there is an energy of being able to experience, really being able to connect in this connection in a way that really brings back that sense of love, that sense of affection, and just this really genuineness between two people connecting from an honest place. So I do feel like there's some communication that you'll be hearing from this person, and I feel like when it comes to any of that communication, there is a lot that this person really feels. Whether they express that verbally, I do feel like this person has strong feelings, and I feel like it's an emotional in nature, but also feel like it's romantic in nature. So those are the messages I'm getting with these cards for you, Sagittarius, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye, Sagittarius.